Okay, should we just get started? Adam Warlock. Okay, first, let's just preface this. The game's been out for 5 days, okay? So, we're all new to these heroes, right? I have 100% correct, objective truth knowledge based on empirical data. And if you disagree with me, it's a skill issue. So let's just get that out of the way right away. For the YouTube video. For the YouTube comments. I'm tired of arguing with people on Reddit and YouTube about why they think Penny Parker is S tier and Hulk is F tier. I'm tired of it. uh, let's start with Adam Warlock. I think Adam Warlock is pretty mid. His res is strong, his team ups are strong, but like he's just really diveable. Like even his self res, like yeah, that keeps him alive, but he's out of the fight so long that like he's basically dead, and then he just comes back and he feeds. His poke's pretty good. His soul bond healing's pretty good. Like his healing output, his damage output's pretty good. I just feel like he's just not as survivable as the other supports in this game. And anytime I see a Warlock, I just dive Warlock and we win the game. So pretty easy. Okay, everybody was saying Panther is gassed, and I hadn't played against a single good Panther until last night, where this guy just solo carried against me. He just was on my backline the entire time, surviving, getting damage in. Nobody could peel for him. He was just going nuts, and I think he's just a really high skill expression hero, and so not many people are good at him or know what they're doing with him, so you don't see him too often. But when you play against a good Panther, you realize how strong this guy is. He's actually nutso in the butso. Stronger than your mom's thighs. I don't think he's S tier quite S tier, but he's very, very strong. Yeah, really good Panthers do go wild. Strange. You know what? Actually, I'm going to create a tier above this. 1 second. Busted. Touch and bust. I don't know. Touch and bust. There we go. These are the characters that are just hard meta, way stronger than anybody else, easy to use, get way too much value at both their floor and ceiling, and I think Strange. I think Strange is at the bottom of touch and bust. In tournament play, okay, this is for ladder play, okay? But for tournament play, like, Strange is actually probably the #1 character in the game, even above the supports. But in ranked ladder, he falls off a little bit, just because he takes a lot of coordination to get the most value out of him. But he's just crazy strong anyway. The portals are crazy. His ultimate is actually just the most insane tank ultimate in the game. He's by far, I think, the strongest tank in the game. His shields just last forever. He's got good mobility. I mean, he just does it all. He just does it all. Groot. Groot's hard to place. So, his skill floor is pretty low. It's easy to get value out of this guy. But he's really map dependent. So, like, on some maps, he's like the strongest tank you can pick. On some maps. On some chokes. Like, when he can wall you off and wall off your front line and split you with the walls, he's just the strongest character in the game. But other than that, he's pretty mid. Like, he's actually not that great. His range is fine. His damage is okay. He's just so boring, too. I hate playing Groot. His ultimate's, like, fine. I think I'm going to put Groot in the top of B, because I think when he's strong, he's like the sex, and when he's just on an open map without those chokes, he's like Captain America tier. So I think I'm going to put him at playable, but like the top of playable. He's still really good. Hela, I mean, come on, guys. She does like so much poke, so much damage. I think she has some of the most impactful damage in the game. It's high burst, high damage. She hits headshots. I feel like it's easy to hit headshots on Hela too. She's got a stun. She's got the bird form that gets her away. Like, I'm going to talk about a lot of DPS that have similar output to damage to Hela, and they're strong, but they don't have bird form or like something to get away, and they don't have a stun. So like, Hela has better damage than them, and then just like better cooldowns than them. Like, she's just actually busted. I don't think she's touch and bust quite, but she's close. Okay, Hulk. I love Hulk. I love Hulk so much. He's so good, actually. People are sleeping on Hulk so much. He's got some of the best tank cooldowns in the game. He kills in the ult trade. He actually kills in the ult trade. He can soak so many ults with bubble. He can cancel so many ults with E. He can cancel ults with his grab in his ult form. His ultimate charges pretty quickly, and it's one of the best tank ultimates in the game. And people think this character is like here, but they're just bad and they don't know how to use the character. They're just not good enough at the character. I think he is really strong, and people just don't know what they're doing on him. Some argue his kit is weak compared to other tanks. That's because they go on Hulk. They don't jump around at all. They blow their bubble early. They use their stun on whatever, and they don't know how to use his ultimate. So of course they think he's weak. Yeah, like Groot, you can go out there and not know what you're doing and get value. Hulk, you can't do that. Hulk, you have to be like, I feel like Hulk's at that Panther level where if you're really good, you can solo carry your games. But like, it just takes so much skill. It's so rare that you see a good Hulk player. Like, even in my games, when somebody else is playing Hulk, they're rarely ever good. Like, they'll be decent enough to get some value off of them. But like, when you play like against a really good Hulk, he does so much. He does so much. What else was I gonna say? So people were saying he was F tier at the beginning of beta, and at the end of beta they were putting him in S tier. So like, you can kind of see as time goes on, people get better with him, and then they think he's better. And I looked at a couple tier lists at the beginning of the release, and everybody was putting Hulk in like F tier, and he's slowly been making his way up in tier lists. And like, in my ranked games, high elo games, I'm seeing more and more Hulk. I think he might be the second or third most played tanks in my games, because he's really good, and I think people are finally realizing how good he is. Okay. Yeah, if you disagree, it's a skill issue. I'm sorry. You either haven't played against a good Hulk, or you're not good at the character. Iron Man. I don't think Iron Man's good. His like projectiles are so slow. I compare about like Hela, Panther. Like, his damage is just kind of meh. He's in the sky and he just gets taken out by way superior DPS. He just gets shredded by Hela and Punisher, and like, I think everything just kills Iron Man so easily. Even with Hulk team up, he's not good. Now, if they're on like no hit scan, no long range characters, you can get some work done on Iron Man. But I really think he's just getting gate kept by much stronger characters who can just take him out instantly. Jeffrey. We all love Jeffrey. He's a cutie. We hate his ultimate, but he is a cutie. Nobody can deny. He sings. You know, he does that da-da. He does that like it's John Williams' Jaws theme, but he's a cute version. So I think Jeff is interesting. I think his ultimate is insane. His ultimate gives you like 0 time to react, and it's basically just a guaranteed like 3k. Like it's insane. His ultimate's so good. The rest of his kit, not so much. I'm not in love with the rest of his kit. Like his healing output is high, but like I don't know. He doesn't do any utility. He doesn't really do any good damage. Like, if you dive him and he goes underground, you can just zone him. You don't have to kill him. You just have to zone him. And, like, he's underground and he's running away, and then you just focus somebody else. So, but his ultimate's really, really strong. And supports are just busted. I think he's one of the weaker supports, but support's really, really good. I think I'm going to put him about Groot level. Yeah, bubbles are good. Bubbles are useful. They're fine. I use bubbles a lot to get healing. Like I said, his healing output's fine. It's just like when you compare him to the other supports in the game, he just doesn't have everything. And I feel like the other supports that are higher on the tier list have everything. And a stun. And a... and a damage and everything else. So, like, he's just falling short in a lot of categories. But his ultimate is probably the strongest support ultimate, or up there for the strongest support ultimate. Loki. I don't think Loki's good, guys. I think Loki's pretty bad, actually. He does decent damage. He has, like, okay survivability with his, like, clones. It's really not that hard to track him through his clones, though. If you have mobility, you can chase this guy down. Or if you have 2 teammates coordinating to kill a Loki, he's not that hard to kill. His rocks are really strong. Like, those little, like, green circles on the ground that are, like, they convert damage into healing. Those are really strong. Loki is good when the player is good. Super high ceiling. I haven't seen it. Magma. I'll have to take your word on it. I'm going to leave that to be determined. Maybe I'm wrong. I haven't played against a good Loki. Maybe I'll change my opinion on this. But I think Loki is Captain America tier. I don't think Loki's good. I'll have to keep my eyes open for that. I'll have to keep my eyes open for that. Snow, I mean, one of the reasons I created the touch and bust category. Snow's insane. Snow does crazy damage. Snow has an busted stun. The freeze is busted. Like, the cooldown comes out so fast. There's no indication when she uses it, and you're just frozen. Her ultimate is insane. One of the best ultimates in the game. Like, when I have a Snow on my team, I know we're like 90% gonna win if they don't have a Snow. She's touch and bust. She's crazy. Just broken. Okay, hot take. Magik? Magik is ass. Magik is so ass. People keep saying Magik's good. I have not seen it. Magik is so ass, guys. Her ultimate's fine, I guess, but like, I don't know. I haven't seen it with her. She doesn't really do anything. Every Magik I have on my teams goes in and feeds. I see like 0 Magics in high elo games too. Like, nobody's playing Magik. She's actually so trash. I mean, when you look at like characters like Iron Fist, other melee characters, what other ones are there? Iron Fist, or other dive characters, I should say. Psylocke. Magik just isn't it. Black Panther, Spider-Man, like, Magik just doesn't do anything that they do. She's way slower, but she needs to get in there to get value. And like, when she gets in there, it doesn't really feel like she's doing anything, and she just feeds. Okay, Mag's good. So here's the thing. I think Mag is a little overrated. Just a little overrated. He's still really good. One of the reasons he's seeing so much tournament play is because he synergizes really well with Hela, really well with Strange, really well with Groot on Groot's maps. He's really good with the poke comps. His sword's insane. But like he's not the reason that you're playing those characters. They're the reason that you're picking a character that synergizes with him. Does that make sense? Like, he's not the strength in those comps. He's just the guy who works good with those comps. So he's good on the meta side of things. He synergizes well. He's strong. The shield's really strong. The bubble's really good. The stun's fine. His ultimate's strong. Like, he's a good character. I think I'm going to put him beneath Hulk, though. Like, if we're just talking about individual strength, I'm going to put him underneath Panther, too. We're talking about individual strength. I just don't think he's... I don't think he's the guy that's determining that these metas are happening. When I said Mag. Mantis. Who's better, Mantis or Snow? I can't even tell, guys. I think Mantis even does more damage. I find Mantis is way harder to kill, too. Mantis's ult gives speed and shields, right? Or nobody dies. When these guys hit Q, nobody dies. Nothing dies. Sleep is crazy. Again, another stun that just has like zero counterplay to it because you just have to predict it. That's all you can do because there's no animation, there's no sound. You don't know when she uses it. And it's just like really easy to land. It's like a Suzu from Kiriko and you're slept. It's crazy. It's not a fair stun. Like when we talk about Sleep Dart being fair in Overwatch, right? It's because it takes a lot of skill to land that. And it's really loud, and there's a very noticeable wind-up animation. These two stuns don't have that at all, any of that. They're just unfair stuns. Please just give us more notice on those. That's all I need. Is just more like ability to play around those. It's like 2 Tranquility Heroes on one team, and there's always one ready. Yeah, their ultimates charge so fast. I feel like most of the games being played in one of these characters' ults when there's 4 of these in the game. Like just the fights last so long, nothing dies, and man, it's just their ultimates are just crazy, and then their kits are just crazy too. I mean, there's just no 2 characters that are better on ladder now than Mantis or Snow. And they're easy. Their floors are pretty low. Their ceilings are pretty mid. Like they're just easy, free value. You don't have to work for it. Namor. You're not good at Strange. He's a little tough. He's not as free as these characters. He's not as free as those characters are. He's still, I'd say, on the easier side of characters, but he's not free. Namor. What do you guys think of Namor? He has his primary is really good. I feel like he's Hela at home, right? Because like his mobility cooldown's worse than Hela's. His primary's worse than Hela's. But that's still really good. I don't think he's better than Jeff or Warlock. He's definitely playable. His turrets are negligible though. Like I really don't notice his turrets. Maybe that's because I'm a tank player, but I don't feel like his turrets really do anything playable. Yeah, his primary is really good, but he is just Hela at home. Why not just play Hela and win your games? Okay, Penny. I'm going full circle on Penny, guys. I thought she was ass, and then I was like, okay, she's seeing some play. She must be okay. And then I realized last night, nobody shoots the freaking nest. Nobody shoots the freaking nest. And I got to an elo, finally, where my DPS shoot the nest, and she's ass again, bro. She's actually not good. Like, there was, like, a time period where my DPS weren't shooting her nest, and I was like, actually, Penny's crazy. She might be even Captain America tier on certain maps. But then I had DPS who are competent and know that you just gotta destroy the nest. And she's just useless, dude. I will say the one thing that is really annoying about Penny is her 2.5-second stun. It is effective against Hulk and Hulk only, though. She is not like Hulk. I don't believe that. Penny is actually ass, guys. If you're, getting wins with her, like, pay attention. Are they breaking your nest? Ever? Really? Are they actually playing around you? Or are they just walking into your webs? Like, are you playing against good opponents with their monitors on? The 2.5-second stun is a little rough. She did. I think she got a fire rate increase since beta, but yeah, I don't think she's good. Punisher. I think Punisher is one of the most overrated characters in this game. When you think about it, all he has is guns and a very mediocre mobility cooldown. Like, Punisher is ironically very punishable. Now, his guns are really good. He can do crazy damage to tanks. His shotgun's busted. His assault rifle's really, really strong. Just really, really strong. Does great poke. Still does a ton of damage. But that's all he has. Like, you look at Hela, stun, way better mobility cooldown, way better ultimate. And actually still a better primary. And then his ultimate's fine. It's strong, even. But it's you just gotta kill him. You either gotta kill him or LOS him, and it's not that hard. He's just a guy with a couple of guns, guys. Just respect him. If you respect him and you dive him when he's alone and you coordinate, he's really not that bad. His turret form is cosmetic. If he uses turret form, you should be laughing all the way to the W's, because like it's worse than his primary. It's worse than his assault rifle. Just LOS it. Go coordinate a dive. He's a skill check, guys. He's a strong skill check. But I think I'm going to put him in playable. I really don't think he's nowhere near Hela. He's not the same tier as Panther. I think I might put... Panther and Hulk are close for me. I'd say Panther's which one's easier? I think they're both insanely hard. It's pretty even there. I don't know. Just a chill guy with chill guns. Yeah, if you want to play gun guy, go play Punisher. He's good. I'm putting him in playable, guys, but like he's not the same tier as Hela. I feel like, again, like the reason you would play Punisher with Hela is because of Hela, not because of Punisher. He has a similar effective range. He can shred down the tanks in her way. He helps support her, not the other way around. Same thing with Magneto kind of situation there. Thank you, Jenna. Appreciate the big fart. Rocket's really good. Rocket's still really good. He does really good damage. His team-ups are insane. With Bucky, with Punisher, the infinite ammo is just actually busted. If you have a Rocket, Punisher does go up quite a bit. Punisher might be... he's not the sec still. He just doesn't have the cooldowns for it, but he is a lot stronger with it. His damage output goes way up. His team-ups are crazy. His mobility is insane. Like, try to kill a Rocket as a tank and just dive this guy, and you're going to be chasing him for 2 fights. The guy just runs. He's so small, dude. I lose track of this guy so often because he's just so little. His healing is really good. You need to walk with the orbs. You need to walk with the orbs. And they're like basically like little Moira piss balls. They do a lot. They do a decent amount of healing. He can kind of solo heal tanks if your tanks know how to LOS, be a little patient, and walk with the orbs. I fart on your penny opinion for Magma. I think he's really good. I think he's top of A. I think Rocket's really strong. Witch. I think Witch sucks. I think Witch is actually really bad. Her damage output is just really meh. She does have a decent stun, I guess. But it's just a stun. It's actually not that great. Her ultimate's pretty trash once you know how to dodge a Diva Bomb. If you're not bronze in Overwatch, her ultimate's pretty bad. Rocket is underrated healer. Yeah, I think he's the third strongest support in the game. For sure. Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man's so fun. I think Spider-Man has insane mobility. His ultimate's really good. Anytime a Spider-Man pops an ult, just backlines are dead. You do have to kind of support him a little bit with some extra dive. He's got really good CC with the uppercut, with the pull. I think Spider-Man is just solid. He's really freaking hard, though. And I think he doesn't get quite as much value as Panther or Hulk at how hard he is. I think he might even be harder than Panther and Hulk, and he still doesn't get the same solo carry potential. He can carry, though. He can carry. If you're playing against a good Spider-Man who knows what he's doing, it can feel pretty impressive. I think I'm gonna put him at What do you guys think? Stronger than your mom's thighs or playable? Playable? He's like in between for me. Maybe even under Groot a little bit. Because Groot's just free value, and when he's good, he's so good. Mom thighs are the sex? He might be. He's to be determined for me. He's one of those characters that might rise up in stonks as time goes on and people learn how to play him. I haven't played with or against many good Spider-Mans, I'm not going to lie. He's really freaking hard. He's got such a high ceiling. Star-Lord. I love Star-Lord. Star-Lord's so much fun to play. I think he's getting outclassed by quite a bit right now, though. Like, I have not been seeing many Star-Lords in my games. I think he's fun. His ultimate's not great. It's okay. Again, it's kind of like a Diva Bomb skill check. Are you playing around cover or not? You know? His mobility just... It doesn't seem good enough. His E is fine. It does like damage, but it's really short range. I don't know. I think Star-Lord is getting outclassed by quite a bit by the other DPS in this game. Like, even under Namor. Yeah, I think so. Storm is really good, guys. Storm is just so boring to play. I hate playing Storm. It's such a shame because I think lore-wise, her abilities, her powers are so cool. Like being able to control the weather and give like them cloud cover and stuff like that. And the artwork too. We love the Storm artwork. No, She's really, really strong. The speed boost, the damage boost, the ultimate, it's all really good. I think, like, she also just has really strong natural synergies. She can get you in. She can do damage. She's really good. She feels so slow and does no damage herself. I'll have to play her more. I think people aren't playing Storm because Storm is really boring. But I think Storm's really good. I think if you do like Storm Goats, she feels so good. If you're playing like Groot, Hulk, Strange, and then these three, like she feels so good in that. Gets countered. Yeah, but then you force Luna or Mantis ult. There's not an ultimate in the game that I wouldn't just solo trade for Mantis or Luna ult. Like, I go in there with Hulk ult and they pop ult. I'm totally fine with that. Yo, what's up, Erilyn? How you doing? Thor's fun. Thor's fun. His shift is really good at, like, just interrupting dive characters. It's so annoying on Hulk when I'm charging a jump and he uses shift on me and it cancels my jump charge. It's so annoying. His F, like where he goes into that lightning form where he's like firing a ton of lightning, is actually crazy. It does so much damage. You can kind of solo carry on Thor. He's kind of like a pub stomping kind of character, but like that's all he does is all he does is he goes in, he shifts to get to position, he does a little dash to get to position, or like counter people going on your backline. He can use that to peel. Then he goes in, he hits F, he gets some shields, he does a ton of damage, he throws down his E, the big little bubble. He charges another F, and then after he blows his load, he's got nothing. When his E's on cooldown, he's done. But he does do quite a bit of damage. I think he's good. I think he's about Groot level. I think he's very playable. What does Captain America mean? Cap is just... he needs some help. He needs some love. He's in need. Explain these tiers. Touch and bust. I mean, does that really need an explanation? The sex, stronger than your mom's thighs, playable, Captain America, your dad. I think they're all pretty intuitive. I don't know what you're talking about. Venom. Venom's mobility is really good. Venom's damage is underwhelming. If he hits all his headshots with his primary, he can delete a squishy. But that's really tough to do and pretty inconsistent. His E is really strong. So if you get down to like 300, 200 health, you pop E, you get like 1,000 shields, and you just stay on the backline. He can create space, but he doesn't do a ton of damage, or at least consistent damage himself. He can do a lot of damage to tanks, but you don't really want to be shooting tanks in this game. And he's got really good mobility. His ultimate's not good. His ultimate's pretty bad. I think Venom was so overrated in beta, and I think he's still really overrated. I know a lot of people are putting him as like one of the top tanks, like in Strange tier. I think that's insane. I think he's fine. I think he makes space. I think he supports other dive characters well. I think he's about Thor level, though. He's really good in dive comps because he has that mobility, and he can zone squishies really effectively, and he can just get in there whenever he wants to. So he does have really good mobility. But I've been underwhelmed by Venom. I just don't think he's that great. It was very good. Like, this is still good characters, guys. Playable is still really good. So don't freak out on me about Venom. That's a hot take. Captain America, touch and bust. No, I'm just kidding. He's got to go perfectly smack dab in the middle of Captain America tier. I mean, that just makes sense. He needs some help, guys. He's not terrible. He's not as bad as Penny or Scarlet Witch, Iron Man, or Magik, but like he needs so much help. He's lacking on quality of life right now. Not being able to shield while you are in the air is so stupid. It's so stupid. His mobility is really good though. His ultimate's pretty strong. His primary takes a little bit to get active, but when you are throwing shields, you are pretty lethal. It's too much work. Also, his reach for it to activate his primary is so frustrating. I'll be sprinting on a target and I'll be like right next to them. I'll be swinging and whiffing all day. He needs slightly more reach on his primary, and he needs to be able to shield in the air, and that's it. And then I think he's playable. Who could be awesome? 3 sim turrets that damage opponents, heal allies, and spawn healing fields, echo, copy all. Oh, Loki? I just think there's better supports. I could be wrong. He's one of my to be determined characters. I'll actually switch Loki and Star-Lord. He might be playable. His healing fields are really strong. I just don't really notice Loki that much. I just never feel like he has a crazy high impact on the game. Bucky's so fun. I love Bucky so much. The resets on the reload with the cooldowns is just really satisfying. It takes a lot of skill. It takes a lot of thinking. His E is just a really strong damage cooldown for what it is. His primary does a lot of damage. His shift is really good. Has a lot of utility, really good mobility cooldown. One of the better mobility cooldowns in the game, not for the distance you travel, but its utility in being able to counter other mobility cooldowns. And his ultimate's just so cool. Again! And his ultimate's strong, too. When you hear again twice, the fight is over. The fight is just fucking done. Bucky is touching bust? No, he's not touching bust. He's good, though. He's very strong. He's very strong. But he's not these guys' level. He's got Hook 1.0, though. He actually has Hook 1.0. I feel like the hook is a little scary to use, though, because when you pull them in, you can just die. If they, like, you don't get that time, really, to just one-shot them and kill them. You have to be able to take the duel, but the hook is good if you can hook them into your team. You just need to hook them into your team and not take 1v1s that you can't take. Why is Hela so high? Cooldown's really strong. She survives. Bird is insane movement. She's got a stun. Her damage is just insane. She just has everything. I think I'll put Bucky. Is he the same tier as Hela, though? He's strong magma. I just don't think he's not these guys. He's not defining the meta as much as these guys are. Moon Knight does good damage. She's got good mobility. Yeah, the Onks, break the Onks, please, for the love of God. It's the same thing with Penny. You break the nest, and you'll be okay. You break the Onks. He still does good damage, unlike Penny. But it's if you leave the Onks up, you're cooked. You're just so cooked. You can't do anything. Break those things 24/7. But he's really good. Is he Panther? Raccoon tier? I don't think so. I think he's top of playable here, though. I think he's really good. Once people learn what everyone does, they will start shooting deployables. Yes, yeah, I agree. I think he's good without his deployables, though. I think he does good damage without his deployables. It's just his deployables make it insane. Psylocke's really strong, guys. So Psylocke is good at what she's designed to do, right? She's a backline assassin, right? Where she can go on squishies. She has good mobility, good evasion. Her stealth is really strong. Stronger than Sombra's in some ways. Like, I feel like it's harder to track her after she gets out of, or when she stealths. Like with Sombra, I can decloak pretty easily. With Psylocke, for whatever reason, I can't. So I like, even though it's shorter, I think it might be better if you're really good. Psylocke is so hard though. Now, what makes Psylocke insane is she is doing something she's not intended to do extremely well, and this needs to get nerfed. Her damage is so effective against tanks. She shreds tanks. It's just high spread, high damage weapon that just like I as Hulk am running away from Psylocke often. She's as scary as Punisher, but she has better cooldowns. I think Psylocke is like top of mom's thighs. I mean, and the artwork too. Psylocke's definitely mom's thighs. Top of mom's thighs. Hawkeye's good. Hawkeye's really good. He's just strong. His numbers are good. He does work. Now, he's pretty diveable. But he does do a lot of damage. This guy just puts out damage. This guy just solo carries games like all the time in my lobbies. Swap Moon Knight and Psylocke, in my opinion? No. I don't think so. I'm seeing Psylocke in like almost every one of my games. I'm seeing Moon Knight pretty seldomly. Like, he's good, he's playable, but Wolverine Captain America tier. Guys, Wolverine's so ass. Wolverine's so much fun. I love Wolverine so much. You dash in there and you're swiping like really fast, and then before you get a kill, you're just dead. Your passive's popped, and then you die again. This guy's supposed to be the invulnerable guy. I really don't know why he's not a tank. He should be. Just lower his damage a little bit, make him a little bit more survivable. That would go better with his lore, and it'll go better with his effective range, but Wolverine's so ass. I really respect anybody, I think, what was his name? Ace Jimbo, TTV, climbing like a man, one-tricking the Wolverine. My guy, my Genji player, you are a true champ for getting this character to near top 500. I saw you on the ladder yesterday. You are somehow making it work. Climbing like an actual man. Yeah, that affects things too. I'm playing a much different character than a lot of things. So I see a lot of people put Hawkeye like touch and bust, and I'm like, well, I play Hulk, so he's not that tough for me. I have a very different experience against Hawkeye, but I do think he does damage. Squirrel Girl is so much fun. Tell me you didn't play Squirrel Girl and immediately fall in love with her. Like, she's just so much fun. Throwing the squirrels is awesome. It's a good interruptibility. Her shift is pretty good. Her ability to eat the nut, to put some nuts in her mouth and just choose whichever cooldown she wants to use again, is so much fun and so dynamic and interesting. Like, I think Squirrel Girl's such a good designed hero, and her damage is really good. Like, she does really high damage. Her projectile speed's faster than Junkrat's, so she's like much more consistent damage output than he is. And she can basically chuck the stun, so that's like actually a useful cooldown. Yeah, she's so much fun. She is so much fun. Her ultimate is cosmetic, though. I don't know what that ultimate does. I have no idea what that ultimate does. I think she's fine. She's not as good as Punisher. I think she's like Namor tier. Very playable. let's organize this around a little bit. Yeah, I think Moon Knight Spider-Man seems comparable. Let's put Thor here. Yeah, I'd say Squirrel Girl and Thor seem about the same power level. Namor and Squirrel Girl, yeah, around there. Iron Fist? What do you guys think of Iron Fist? I feel like if you play certain characters, you think he's just touch and bust. Like if you're playing Widowmaker, you just think he's touch and bust, but I don't know if that's true. His mobility is insane. So he's got the triple jump, and the triple jump each jump gives him like a little speed boost. And his primary gives him a little dash. His primary goes out so fast, and then his defensive stance is really good too. His ultimate's really good. I think he's just a really solid character, but people are overrating him because they don't know that you can just stun him, don't shoot his defensive stance, and respect him. But his mobility is actually the most broken thing about his kit, I think. His mobility is just crazy. You can basically play the floor as lava, never touch the ground. You can wall run. You can be jumping everywhere. You can be dashing in with punches. His kick's pretty strong. It's a great damage and mobility cooldown. Like, I think he's really good. I don't think he's as good as Panther. Probably as good as, like, Hawkeye. Yeah, that seems good. He's mom's thighs. You can meditate mid-air before an engage. Yeah, it's pretty funny. The meditate, I don't know. I don't really think that cooldown has any meaningful impact. Like, yeah, it's nice to... I guess it's nice to be able to self-heal when you're on a flank. It's convenient. It's a convenient cooldown, but it's like out of fight cooldown, and like he has enough mobility to just get a pack. So I don't really think that adds much to him. They could take that cooldown away and he'd still be pretty much just as strong, I think. Oh, it gives overhealth? I know that's the defensive stance that gives overhealth, right? Oh no, you're right. Meditate does give overhealth. Never mind. Never mind. Meditate gives overhealth. I haven't played enough Iron Fist. Widow, I haven't seen any Widows. I feel like she's fine. I don't know. I haven't really seen any of her. I feel like I'm going to play against like Kenzo or something, and then I'm going to feel how strong this character is. And probably rate this character way higher, but I haven't played against any good Widows. I haven't really played against any Widows at all, so I have no idea. And I play Hulk, so every time I see a Widow, I just dive her. I also feel like a lot of the maps let you flank on long range hit scan a lot easier than Overwatch. Less circuit royales, less Havana situations. If she can hit her shots, she feels less diveable than Widowmaker. But the amount of dive characters in this game, like Spider-Man's mobility, Hulk's mobility, Panther, Iron Fist, I think this... Her mobility just doesn't outrun that against a good Spider-Man. I think there's just so many dive characters that she's really hard. You have to position really well with her. You need to be really smart with your cooldowns when you peek, and you need to hit your shots. She's just so much work for a character that can't even one-shot. And you could just be playing Hela, who has better cooldowns. The Eskrima sticks, are those cosmetic? I don't know. Like, why would you use those when you can do unscoped shots with her? I guess maybe to finish somebody off. I don't know. I think Widowmaker is actually Captain America tier. Yo, what's up, Racho? She has a combo to one-shot flankers. Yeah, she can with her like unscoped shift and then pull. Widowmaker doesn't have a stun. I mean, yeah, her cooldowns are better than Venom mine. But like the whole cast has much more powerful like cooldowns than Overwatch characters. So, I don't know. Alright, C and D, cock and dick. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this character. I don't really notice this character. I feel like it's kind of like Loki, where it's like some of the cooldowns are impactful, like the rocks, the totems or whatever they are. Like I feel like both bubbles are pretty decent. The walls, I don't really notice what they do. Been maining her on support. She has decent mobility. Like she's harder to kill than Loki, I think. Or they are. Her ultimate, their ultimate's actually just not meaningful. I don't think it's very good. Damage is fine. I just feel like they're a little underpowered. A full tier lower than Jeff and Warlock seems about right to me. Yeah. What do you guys think? Don't respect her blind damage boost enough? Yeah, are you just like where you just like stay inside the thing? You just gotta walk out of it, right? That's it.